Welcome back to Super Recap. Today I will show you a romance movie from 2012 called The Lucky. The movie's main protagonist is Logan. He is 25 years old and a Marine soldier. In the beginning scene, Logan is on a mission in Iran and it's going well, but suddenly his squad is ambushed. A soldier known as Ace is hurried to help an injured comrade, but he died in the process. Fortunately, Logan manages to survive the tough night, and now he is waiting for reinforcements to arrive. While he's waiting, he notices a picture on the ground, so he goes towards it. When he picks it up, he sees that it's a photo of a woman, and just as he was preparing to return to his position, a bomb is thrown at the camp, killing everyone except Logan, as he was farther away because of the picture. Logan then goes around and starts questioning all soldiers about the girl in the picture, but it seems no one has any idea about who this girl is. 8 months go by, and now Logan is on another mission. Logan and his friend are in a car where his friend tells him that he should find the girl in the picture because she saved his life after all. But suddenly the car explodes. Thankfully, Logan survives, and he decides to leave the Marine. He decides to live with his sister for a while, and when he reaches her home, Zeus, his dog, rushes and jumps up on him out of happiness. Logan lives with his sister for a few days, and then he decides to leave to find the girl in the photo. The girl is standing next to a lighthouse in the picture, so Logan finds the location of that lighthouse and begins heading there. When he arrives, he walks around town and starts asking different people if they know this woman. One man finally reveals who the girl is. He says that her name is Beth Green and that she is a dog keeper who lives on the outskirts of town. After that, he goes to her workplace and meets, but before he can explain his reason for meeting her, she informs him about a job opening they have, and he agrees to the job. But when he's signing the paperwork, Beth discovers that he's an ex-Marine, and she immediately wants to kick him out. But her mother gets involved and thinks that Logan is perfectly suitable for the job. Later, Logan tries to look for a place to live, and he finds a house nearby. He buys the house, although it is extremely old and dirty. The following day, when Beth is out walking the dogs, Logan is working at the shop by repairing and rearranging broken items while Beth's son Ben keeps an eye on him. Soon, Beth comes back to drive Ben to school while Beth's mother shows Logan around the farm. Logan is happy there. He works all day long, takes care of the dogs, and fixes various things such as his house, the shop, and even a tractor. One day, while he's working, the sheriff walks in and disturbs Logan. He makes use of physical violence to establish his authority, and before leaving, he tells Logan to inform Beth that he'll meet her at 4 p.m. Later, Beth and Ben get into the truck and drive to a party, where we discover that the sheriff is actually Beth's ex-husband, Keith, and Keith's father is a judge who is running for the election, and their family is quite influential in the town. Some days pass, and in the following scene, Beth is looking after the dogs as they swim in the lake, and Logan is out on a walk with Zeus when he spots her, but he simply just smiles at her. Beth enters the house while complaining about how annoying the new worker is, but she shuts up as soon as she realizes Logan is there with her mother. Logan had been having coffee and chatting about life with her mother. The next day, while Logan is walking, he notices Ben playing the violin and compliments him, but Ben is shy and doesn't reply. As the days pass, Logan works hard and takes good care of the dog. One day, Beth's mother asks him to drive her to town. During the drive, they have a conversation, and Beth's mom talks about her son, Drake, who never returned from his Marine mission. When Logan gets back home, he notices a piano. He approaches it and starts playing a lovely piece, which Ben secretly hears, but the performance is cut short by Beth's arrival. Ben asks Logan to have dinner with him. Logan agrees, and they eat together. Then Logan plays with him for some time, but soon he has to leave as it's Ben's bedtime. Before leaving, Logan tries to open up to Beth about his reason for being here, but he starts remembering traumatic memories, so he leaves without being able to say anything. Once he returns home, he hides Beth's picture under a book. The next day, Beth and her mother go to visit Drake's grave, and when they return, Beth is overtaken by despair and starts destroying their garden. When Logan notices this, he rushes to console her. When she calms down, she talks about Drake and how close they used to be. She expresses how his death completely ruined her, and she just hopes he didn't die in vain. As more time passes, Logan and Ben become closer and are currently playing together, but the moment is cut short as Keith arrives to take Ben for a baseball charity game. Later, Keith brings back Ben, who is bleeding from the nose as he got hit by the ball. And because of that, Beth gets annoyed at Keith. Then Keith gets angry and starts becoming aggressive. When he's about to get violent, Logan stops him and tells him to leave. So eventually, Keith leaves, but not before threatening Logan. When they go back to the house, Beth appreciates Logan for his help, and they go on a date. Beth brings Logan to one of her favorite spots, which is her father's old boat that doesn't work anymore. They share a romantic moment and kiss each other, but then they are interrupted by a police officer who is following Keith's order. The next day, Logan gets some tools and goes to the boat to try and fix it, and he is successful in fixing it because of his experience in the Marine. He then returned to the shop, and while he was picking up heavy bags of dog food, Beth was looking at him with desire. Later in the night, Logan visits Beth's house, where he and Ben talk for some time before Logan heads upstairs to see Beth, and they end up kissing passionately. Then the scene shifts to Ben's birthday party, where everyone is present, including Keith, who does not like that Logan is there too. So Keith goes to complain to Beth, but she tells him that Ben was the one who invited Logan, not her. Keith, on the other hand, refuses to accept this and threatens her by saying that he'll use his power with the law and take Ben away from her. Beth gets worried after his threats and tells Logan that she won't see him anymore. Later, when Beth tells her mother about the incident, she chastises Beth for being so submissive and not fighting for her love. Heated by her mother's word, Beth goes to Keith's house in the morning and tells him that his threats will have no effect on her anymore and that she will keep seeing Logan whether he likes it or not. Keith is speechless in response. She then goes to Logan's house, where they embrace each other and eventually sleep together. In the next scene, they are at the church, where Logan and Ben will perform a chorale together. And while Ben is nervous about performing in public, Logan reassures him. When they started playing, people were pleasantly astonished by how fantastic the duet was, even though they did make some mistakes. When they were leaving, the man who told Logan about Beth noticed Logan, so he told Keith he was hiding a photograph of her in his house. That evening, Logan returns home and discovers that someone has broken it and sees that Beth's picture is missing. On the other hand, Keith has arrived at Beth's house. He shows her the picture and convinces her that Logan is bad. So later, when Logan approaches her to explain everything, she just tells him to leave. But before leaving, Logan tells her the story of how her picture saved him. But just as he's leaving, Ben runs up to him and hands him his chess book. The following day, Logan walks downtown to get some groceries, and he is noticed by a drunk Keith. Keith rushes out of his car and tries to threaten Logan with a gun, but he forgot that Logan is an ex-Marine, so he easily takes the gun from Keith and leaves. Later, we see that Keith is plagued by guilt, and he goes to his father and informs him that he is resigning as sheriff. Keith then visits Beth and begs her to take him back. He says he wants to be a family again and starts getting very pushy, but Beth rejects him, causing him to get angry. Then he starts looking for Ben, but Ben gets scared and runs away. It is raining heavily outside, and when Ben is running away, he gets stuck on a wooden bridge. Keith immediately rushes to save him, but the weather gets worse and the bridge collapses. But thankfully, Ben is holding onto a branch. Keith desperately swims to save him. Soon, Logan arrived and jumped in the lake too. They finally reach Ben, and just when Keith hands Ben to Logan, the hut above them collapses and crushes Keith. Once they are out of the water, Keith's father thanks Logan for saving Ben, but Logan says that it was Keith who saved him. After that, Logan visits Beth's house and speaks with her mother, who praises him and thanks him for saving Ben's life. When Beth also comes downstairs, he tells her that the reason why he's here is to tell her about her brother's death. Apparently, the book Ben gave him had a picture of Drake in it, and he had a tattoo that said Aces on his arm, which made Logan recognize him. Logan then reveals that Drake was with him that day, and that he was a brave soldier who died while saving another injured soldier, so his death was not in vain. After telling her all that, Logan is on his way to leave town and move on with his life, but Beth chases him and begs him to stay. They share an emotional moment and embrace each other. The movie concludes with Logan, Beth, and Ben on a boat ride. While Ben is looking out at the lake, Logan and Beth are kissing each other in the back. Thanks for watching. To support the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button and press the bell icon to get new video updates.